Welcome back to 11's Dirt Life. Today I have a real quick video for you on track bars. We're going to talk today about a rear track bar, but this concept would apply to a front or rear track bar. Any Jeep model, JK, JL, JT. What we have on the bench today is a JT adjustable rear track bar. This is the Steer Smarts bar. This is the stock bar. I'm going to show you the difference between the two. Kind of go through why we went with Steer Smarts and just kind of how to set it up, how to adjust it, and how easy it can be done in your garage, which is basic hand tools. So first of all, you can see here, this is the stock rear track bar. This is the Jeep Gladiator, nice and straight bar. This thing is super lightweight, super flimsy, so non-adjustable. This is the length that you get. So once you start lifting your vehicle, your track bar starts getting raised. You're not as parallel anymore, and your axle starts shifting over. You don't have the centered axle there, so you might have some blocking in the rear, some alignment issues. The beauty of adding an adjustable rear track bar like this one from Steer Smarts is you can now lengthen this bar, right? We can make this bar longer or shorter as needed to center the axle and also allow it to be nice and straight as long as we have a raised rear track bar bracket. So this one is really cool. I love Steer Smarts adjustability. I've run their stuff on my JK, my JL. I run all their products. One of the easiest products to adjust. One of the things I like about it, there's no jam nuts. Jam nuts are great. But for my purpose and for what I like about this is they use a collar system. So you can see the collar sleeve here. Why don't you come up and get closer and I'll give you a real quick rundown on how this works. So on this particular bar, we're going to mount the bar, frame side, axle side mounts here over here. And then once we get it mounted and we check our axle to make sure it's centered or not centered. If it's not centered, we need to make an adjustment. We loosen these two 15mm bolts here real quick with a hand tool. These collars will be loose and we twist this adjuster tube as needed, whichever direction it needs to go to either lengthen or shorten the bar. We have started our bar at the stock length, and then we're going to go from there. I think shoe is pretty centered at this length, so this will give us just that little bit more that we need to lengthen it just to get it dead centered. And that's it. I mean, this applies to any track bar, front or rear track bar. This can be done on the deck, in your garage. One of the cool things about the rear track bar, one of my tips that I use for when I get it in is I'll get the frame mount in first, and then I lay on my back and I use my foot and I push the Jeep over on the frame to get the other side bolt hole in. So you can do that by yourself. With the front, typically what you need to do to get that secondary bolt hole lined up on the axle is you're going to want to turn the steering wheel, and that'll move the axle over, and then you can get the bolt hole to line up. So this can be done by yourself. It's nice to have an extra set of hands, but it's super easy. This whole install will take us less than an hour. And we will now have full adjustability. The other cool thing to mention about the Steer Smarts or any aftermarket track bar is you're going to typically get a better joint or bushing on the rod end here. So this is just, I'm not sure, the difference technically wise. I know these don't have a lot of flexibility. This is the Pro Series bushing from Steer Smarts. This is a nicer, higher end bushing. I run it on my Jeep and they've been great. So this will give us a nice, much stiffer feeling in the rear end especially. So we've got a bunch of Steer Smart stuff coming for her Gladiator, so stay tuned for that. We're going to do everything on the front end here pretty soon. Just wait for a few more components. We'll do some videos on that. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to reach out. Thank you for tuning in.